Today we'll be doing some standing forward fold work, Uttanasana and Padangunstasana. So that's standing forward fold, and that's hand to toe pose. And we're going to use our wall and 2 bricks to support us. So we'll start by bringing our bricks about, I don't know, halfway or a third of the way to the sides. Just make sure they're within arm's reach when you fold forward. And we're going to scoot our backs up against the wall standing. Okay, so from here, bring your hands onto your hips and use the hips to help tilt the pelvis slightly. So you can imagine the flesh of the buttocks kind of moving down. You're trying to bring the sacrum flat against the wall, and then the space between the shoulder blades flat against the wall. Again. Arms can extend up overhead. So we call this Urdhva Hastasana, extended mountain pose. But here, tendency might be for the ribs to kind of pop out for a slight extension in the back. Draw the lower ribs in. Imagine trying to draw a relatively straight line with the sacrum and the space between the shoulders pressing against the wall. Good. And let's bring the hands to the hips. We're going to scoot our feet out a little bit wider than the hips, perhaps about as wide as the mat. And the general idea here is we're going to be folding forward and bringing our hands onto our bricks. Now, depending on the junk in the trunk department, as you start to fold forward, you might feel like you're being tipped and kind of pushed against the wall. So we're going to slide our feet forward just a little bit. Again, bring hands on the hips and give it a couple trials and errors. As you fold forward, I want you to have the feeling that your sits bones are making firm contact with the wall. So essentially, you're going to be sitting on the wall, but I don't want you to have the feeling that your butt is pushing you and you're going to just fall flat on your face. So take a couple of trials and error, scoot your feet to the appropriate distance so that as you hinge forward, your hips come straight over your knees and heels, and your sits bones make firm contact with the wall. And then let's come back up to standing there. So you found your distance, heels from the wall. We're up, leaning against the wall. Very good. Start pressing your hands down to extend the torso up away from the hips. Then we'll reach both arms up and overhead. Urdhva Hastasana, extended mountain. Good. Teeny tiny, not even a bend, just a buoyancy in both knees. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to fold forward. Good. And bring your hands down onto your bricks. Slide hands and bricks directly underneath the shoulders. Good. Now, sits bones press back against the wall. So you may have noticed you lean forward and come off the wall. Sits bones press firmly against the wall. From the sits bones pressing, the sides of the trunk extend. The sternum reaches forward. The shoulders are away from the ears. Ground the corners of the feet down. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Good. Then we're going to walk our bricks away from us, but keep pressing the sits bones down into the wall. Good. Let's do that again. Brick slide. Imagine the bricks trying to lengthen the spine and pull the sternum toward the far side of your mat, but sits bones keep drawing back and pressing into the wall. Good. Let's do that again. Bricks slide a little bit further forward still. And slide the bricks as far away as you can get them while keeping the sits bones pressing against the wall. Very good. Now this new length you found in the torso, in the spine, sides of the trunk, keep that there as you start to drop the crown of the head down. Release your hands from the bricks. Fingertips come down by the feet. Good. Uttanasana. Good. We're going to slowly roll back up to standing and release. Okay. So nice big stretch in the hamstrings, but important about this variation is that we're lengthening the spine first and then we're folding. A lot of times in Uttanasana, you see people just kind of roll forward, hunching into the back to kind of try and press themselves into, I don't know, fold themselves in half or whatever. In yoga, we're always, especially Hatha yoga, we're always concerned first and foremost about our spine, because this practice is all about the spine and the central nervous system. So first we lengthen the spine and then we fold. Good. We can shift our bricks off to the side. And we're going to come now to Padangusthasana. It's a different kind of take, but not so far from the same posture. You can move away from the wall now. I'll show from this angle, but feet are, still just a little bit wider than the hips. Inner edge of the ankle roughly in line with outer edge of the hips or so. We'll start with hands on the hips. Find the corners of the feet, lift the 10 toes, set them back down. Buoyancy in the knees as the tailbone draws down, the navel draws up. Draw the shoulders and elbows back. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to fold forward. Press hands into the hips to extend the torso as much as you can. Then release the crown of the head down. Good. One more time. Press hands into the hips, lengthen the torso. Very good. Now we're going to bring our fingertips down. And I want you to take a bend in the knees. So nice deep bend. You're almost trying to bring the torso into connection with the thighs. Good. We take our index, middle finger, and thumb, and we bind the big toes. So elbows are pointing out, thumbs in. Good. So again, index, middle finger, and thumbs hook the big toes. Good. Knees are still bent. Torso and thighs connect. Firmly gripping the toes. Very good. Now we're going to try to straighten the legs, straighten the spine, and extend the sternum forward. If that just feels like a huge, huge stretch, keep the knees slightly bent. Go as far as you can, but really maybe about 90% of your edge. Don't go so far you have the feeling you're going to snap in half, right? Sternum extends forward, sits bones reach up, pull the belly in. If this feels like a big, big, big stretch, you're going to stay there. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can start to release the crown of the head down. Elbows release to the sides. Sits bones keep reaching up. Imagine trying to bring the sternum to the ground, the torso to the thighs. Good. Again, we'll straighten the spine. Pull the sternum forward. Good. Then we'll release the big toes, bring the hands onto the hips. Slowly roll ourselves up to standing. And release. We call that Padangusthasana, and that just means hand to big toe pose. And that is our class for today. Thank you.